Welcome to Afternoon Tea with Caden Alexander. I'm Caden Alexander, and I want to wish all of you a very happy Pride Month. Today is the first tasting video of the June box. So we have a fresh orange cake. As soon as I opened it, all you smell is orange. It is beautiful. You can feel there's actual orange peel in there. And then we also have a Matcha Taiyaki. It's much smaller than I imagined it to be, but it's very cute, very spongy. This is beyond soft, by the way. We also have a Sakura Sencha tea. This is from May's box. I had one left over, so I figured might as well. And I have something to talk about for once. But we will get to that after tasting. So I'll start with the orange cake. Oh, that feels so nice already. That's so good. Immediately you can taste the orange. It's very refreshing. Very soft. The orange peel adds a bit of texture. Oh, that's absolutely delightful. I would eat a full cake of that. That is so good. Let me take a bite of the Taiyaki, Matcha Taiyaki too. Those two together. It's a very unlikely combo, but it's really good. They bring out the flavors in each other. You can definitely taste the matcha in that. That's really good. So today, in honor of Pride Month, I figured I would talk a little bit about how I started realizing I was non-binary / trans, and the things that really, the representation I got as opposed to what we get now. So when I was a youngin', sorry, I'm trying to look at something real quick because I have a quote ready. But when I was a youngin', I was growing up with, of course, the classic boomerang stuff, but also it was the start of Nickelodeon. Well, I say the start, but you know what I mean. And Fairly Oddparents was the new hit thing. Now, I hate mentioning it simply because of the certain someone who created it. However, we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about the episode that made me realize that I was non-binary. So, that show played with gender roles a lot. From Timmy's dad entering the Miss Dimsdale pageant to the Tamantha episode where Timmy is wished into being a girl so that Tamantha could be friends with Trixie. And that whole episode really enlightened me. Because it's true, if more girls did boy stuff, if more boys did girl stuff, more girls could do boy stuff. But being a tomboy was always more accepted, especially in this household. So they didn't mind if girls could play with dolls and fire trucks. We could collect Pokemon cards. We could have wrestling figurines. you know? But it was more taboo to be a guy who liked dresses, liked dolls, um, liked cute things, and playing jump rope and all that stuff. So it really opened my eyes and made me realize that I agree with this, but I agree more on the Timmy side. That more boys should be able to do girl stuff. And that more or less made me realize, and it's funny, I was watching, not that episode, but I was watching an episode with the Crimson Chin in it. And I remember, while watching that episode, we ordered Chinese food, so I went up to the delivery guy. I was probably 7 years old, and I proudly exclaimed, "I am a burl, part boy, part girl." And that was my first, essentially, realization for gender identity. Then the years passed. I never really liked my name. I never felt it belonged to me. So I went by a nickname from as long as I can remember. And I also played pretend a lot. So nearly every day I was another name. Go forward to... Actually, no. Still in that time frame, maybe even a little less, I always wanted to be like my dad, in the sense that, like, when I would raid my parents' closet, I would only raid his side of the closet. There's a picture somewhere in the depths of a photo album with me in his work uniform. Like the oversized t-shirt, pants barely fit me. Like there's at least 3 feet of pants trailing on the floor. He had a mullet wig. I would wear that. And then I tried peeing standing up till I was at least 7 or 8. So that's where that started. But then middle school came around, and I was starting to accept the more feminine things. I was starting to not mind dresses. I started getting really into Japanese idols. I'd say this was 8th grade, 9th grade. But I was really into Japanese idols, so I would start trying to cosplay as them, wear similar outfits as in the music videos, and dance and sing along. And I wanted to be a J-idol for a long time. But in that similar respect, that's also when I started, like, wearing visual case stuff, and I taught myself how to tie a tie. I would wear ties with everything. I unfortunately was the guy who would wear fedoras. I also had a Monster High phase. So I had quite a few Monster High fedoras. And I would just explore with gender identity and just clothing and everything, but I also didn't really feel any dysphoria. Like, I was perfectly fine as a kid being called ma'am and she and her, and it didn't really get to me until about, I'd say once I was 21, 22, that's when I started feeling like, something isn't right. And I started dating around, while I was still with my fiance, we decided, hey, we are allowed to casually date. So I did, and I dated quite a few people, but one of which, I'm not going to say her name out of respect, but she's a beautiful trans woman. I love her so much as a friend. But when we were seeing each other, I started realizing, like, hey, maybe I'm not cis. And it just opened my eyes and let me search into myself a bit more. And she's still one of my best friends. In my heart, I haven't reached out to her recently, and I'm probably gonna do that after this video. But like, she really did open my eyes. And then once I moved from Pennsylvania to Florida, I decided that, hey, this is who I am, and I'm coming out. I chose a name a little too early. I'm not gonna lie. So it took a few years for me to truly find my name. But I am Caden Alexander, and I am so happy with who I truly am. And hopefully, in a few months, who I am inside will show on the outside. And people can accept that. I know I'm being optimistic. I know that most people won't see me as who I am. But gosh darn it, I'm tired of pretending to be a girl. I'm so tired. But I'm also tired of upholding to toxic masculinity. When I first came out, I was more dysphoric. I felt like out of the closet into the sock drawer. I was more dysphoric when I came out because I had all these new rules that I had to follow. I had to act a certain way, I had to dress a certain way. My hair had to be like buzz cut or that short, you know? And that just wasn't me. Like, ideally, if I could wake up tomorrow looking like, just to throw some celebrities' names out there, Ladybeard, Michael Spock, Yol of Blind Channel, Tuomas Holopainen of Nightwish. If I could look like one of them tomorrow, I would be so happy. With the long hair and the goatees. Well, Yol doesn't really have one, but you know what I mean. I would be so happy, you know? But I still like cutesy stuff. I still like dresses. I still like shoujo manga and anime. I still like idols to some extent. And just cute things in general, you know? I have a collection of dolls still. I have a collection of plushies. And that doesn't make me any less of a man. Doesn't make me more or less of anything. It just makes me me. I'm gonna have more of this. Sorry if the camera works a bit off too. But flash forward to, I'd say, halfway through Steven Universe. This was probably a few years after season 3 came out, maybe a year. But, because when Steven Universe first came out, I was not really into it. I was going through a lot of depression that time too, so just anything that my fiance liked that he wanted to show me, I just couldn't connect to it. But then once I moved out, we lived together for a while. Once I moved out, I ended up Well, the musical episode went viral, and I heard "It's Over, Isn't It?" and then I was hooked. So I watched everything again, and one thing that resonated with me was in the Greg the Babysitter episode. I'm sure y'all remember that one. Oh, Yosi. Sorry, my cat decided she wanted to be on the lanai with me today. What, Yos? She's just chilling. Um, so, a quote from that, from Rose Quartz. Um, you're supposed to change. You're never the same, even moment to moment. You're allowed and expected to invent who you are. What an incredible power, the ability to grow up. And that truly resonated with me. Like, even if as a kid I wasn't dysphoric, even if I decided, okay, maybe I'm part boy, part girl, to, hey, maybe I'm a guy, to, hey, maybe I am a guy, but I also am still traditionally feminine. Like, it's a journey. You're allowed to do that. With sexuality, I had to do that too. Here I thought I was straight, then I was like, oh wait, maybe I'm bi. But then it turned out that all the girls that I was attracted to were actually trans mask, but closeted. And that was before I even knew who I was too. So it changes. Moment to moment it changes, and it's exciting and terrifying. And it just so much. You know? It's really an adventure finding out who you are. And I'm still more or less trying to do that. I'm sure once my voice drops, once I start going through the more intense parts of puberty too. That's just so cool. But I'm sure once I go through that things will change again. And I'll still discover new parts of myself again. So, with that, feel free to share your own gender journeys. I would love to hear from more gender nonconforming and trans people. And if you're in the closet still, if you're still trying to figure out who you are, like, that's okay. I am proud of you for just existing. And just take it one day at a time. If it's not safe for you to come out yet, then just be, you know? And one day it will be safe. And one day you will be so happy. But for now, it just takes a little time. I think that's a good enough place to end. So, if y'all have any questions, anything you want me to talk about, please let me know in the comments, like, and subscribe, and I will talk to all of you later. Have a great one. Bye.